I see my name in shining lights. Yeah, a different city every night. Oh, I swear the world better prepare for when I'm a billionaire.
It's time to get down to business on the weekend's #1 business program. Known as the King of Networking, your host, Shalom Klein, has worked with thousands of entrepreneurs and created countless jobs. So, to success. Let's get down to business.
And indeed, we're all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. In business, we talk a lot about business here. You are on with Get Down to Business. And I'm your host, Shalom Klein. Remember, you can always download podcasts from Get Down to Business on my website at shalomklein.com. And while you are there, don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Shalom Klein. So I'm super excited about this week's conversations. As always, the show all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. But I'm so excited to be rejoined with the guru of independent health insurance, and that is Tom Miroballi. And before I bring Tom in over here, a reminder that you can always get in touch with Tom by giving him a call, 630-863-3477, or visiting his website, healthplanchicago.com. But let me tell you a thing or two about Tom Miroballi. So Tom is an independent agent. That means that he's able to help people get affordable healthcare plans, and that is something everybody wants to do, even when you might not be in the sort of open enrollment period. Tom knows how to make things happen and get those deals. Tom, welcome back to Get Down to Business.
Thank you for having me. How have you been doing?
I am well, my friend. Thank you. Thank you.
Great.
I'm so much better now that I've got the guru on himself. So, Tom.
Hey, let's rock and roll. Okay.
You know a thing or two about health insurance, and 2022 is, well, it might feel a lot like 2021. It's a new year, and that's a time for new beginnings. So, Tom, first question that I want to ask you is, I hear this from our listeners quite a bit. Folks that were on a health insurance plan in 2021, and they were happy with it. They've been happy with the plan, with their tier. Can they just sort of take no action, and are they all set, or do they need to get in touch with somebody like you?
No, if they're happy with their plan, they're going to get a rate increase on an annual basis. But if they're happy with the plan, they can stay with the plan, but they're going to have to go with the higher out-of-pocket costs. And I believe from last year, it was $8,550 per person to this year, which is $8,700, give or take a couple of dollars here and there. But that's per person, 2 per family max. So you're looking at over $17,000 in family out-of-pocket costs.
So, Tom, that was the softball. That was the softball in this conversation. Today, I want to have a conversation sort of teaching people, because this is an opportunity for everybody to understand those high costs. Regardless of what line of work you might be in, health insurance is increasingly a huge chunk of what's coming out of somebody's salary. So, Tom, this probably is a dumb question, but what causes high health insurance premiums? What are the factors that are involved?
Well, claims, with the, I call it the Unaffordable Care Act, but, you accept everybody, which is fine and good, just like Medicare. But all of those people with pre-existing conditions, cancer, insulin-dependent diabetes, et cetera, those all add up to healthcare costs that are going to raise the prices in the following year. So like in 2021, let's say they had $1 billion worth of expenses. Okay, well, the billions of dollars of expenses that the Affordable Care Act incurs, somebody's got to pay for those expenses. That's why in 2022, the prices went up. The deductibles went up because people have to pay all of those expenses.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So what are the options for more affordable coverage? Tom, I know that's your area of expertise. For those that are sort of tired of spending that $17,000 or more, what can they do to look for better options that perhaps is customized to them and their family's needs?
Well, all they have to do is call me at the 863-3477 number, 630-863-3477. And I offer free advice, no commitments whatsoever. I mail out either by email or by U.S. Postal Service complete descriptions of what I'm doing. I give them free quotes. And if a client is healthy, let's take a family of four, and let's say that everybody is healthy, I can save them a boatload of money. Example, let me back up for a minute. Just like one guy, 59 years old, non-smoker, lives in Cook County. His cheapest cost at age 59 under the ACA with the $87.50 out-of-pocket expense is a bronze HMO plan at $750 a month. I can get this person a 100% plan on the short-term plans, PPO plans, any doctor, any hospital, $2,500 deductible at $500 a month. And you can use anybody you want. Now, that's another problem with the ACA. You have to make sure that whatever plan you take with the Affordable Care Act, that your doctor and hospital are in the network. And trust me, there's been a lot of fallout. A lot of doctors are saying, we don't take that anymore, or we only take the HMO Blue Precision plans under the ACA.
Absolutely. So
Very
again, I'm
important.
chatting with Tom Miroballi, the health insurance guru, healthplanchicago.com, 630-863-3477. And you're listening to the show all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. You're listening to Get Down to Business. And Tom, I always appreciate the scenarios that you provide and how you are helping people save money. And as we said when we started this conversation, somebody that's happy with their plan, they don't need to change it. But the reality is that this is my advice to everybody tuning in is pay close attention, especially in a new year. Pay close attention to where your shekels are going and how you can save money, because the reality is your costs will be going up, and you need to make sure not only are you saving money, but you're also covered in the areas that you need to be covered. And Tom, I know you provide that candid, if there's one thing I know about you, it's that you provide the candid advice, and you get to know your customers really, really well. So again, I mentioned when we started the conversation that right now we are not in the open enrollment period. That period just ended. But there are ways around that. There's ways that people can get into a plan. Tom, can you walk us through that?
Well, sure. If a client has a group plan and the employer stops the plan, or the client no longer works for that employer, so the client would lose their group coverage, that creates what we call a special enrollment provision, where the client has 63 days to go and get a plan like mine in the private marketplace. The other thing is, if you have, let's say, a family of four, let's pick on a family of four again. If one of those people is uninsurable out of the four, I could put the other three healthy people out of the family into my short-term plans. And there's no maternity in these plans, so we could take mom and the two kids and put them into my short-term plan. And my short-term plans are renewable. But dad, let's say he's got the insulin-dependent diabetes. We'll put him in the Affordable Care Act. And we can work a special provision. Another special provision is if a client moves. Once that client moves or changes his address, that client has 63 days to get into the Affordable Care Act.
Absolutely. I'm chatting with Tom Miroballi from healthplanchicago.com, 630-863-3477. And Tom, as we are coming to the end of our time before commercial, I want to make sure to ask you this, especially as everybody's mind is shifting to filing their taxes. Believe it or not, we're in another tax season. Tom, are you able to sort of work in that sort of coalition of partners to ensure that everybody's getting the information that they need to both for compliance purposes, but also that the plan that you're selecting will work well with somebody with their accountant as well? Do you work well with the partners of a lawyer, an accountant, financial advisors, and so on? How do you and your team sort of interact at that level?
Well, that's a good question because I specifically go with the health insurance. And yes, I sell life insurance and long-term care nursing home insurance. But I tell people, if you have a legal question, contact your attorney. If you have an accounting question, contact your accountant because these rules change left and right, up and down, the whole 9 yards. Jack of all trades and master of none is not my mode of operation. I would suggest if people want a referral, I have lawyers, I have accountants, I have certified financial planners at my disposal that if they care to get other advice that I cannot give them, I will give them those numbers if they wish.
Well, that's
and
a great place. That's a great place to end. Tom Miroballi, I cannot thank you enough for joining us. I know our listeners can give you a call at 630-863-3477, 630-863-3477, or visit healthplanchicago.com. Got to squeeze in a very quick break. We'll be back on the show all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship in just a moment.